passionate Texas fans, obviously. So we're going to look at the slate of games for this season, regular season, and pick wins and losses each. We did this before the podcast, so I'll try to quickly run through the games that don't matter, and let's talk about the ones that do. Um, First game, Colorado State at home. All of us are picking a win. Moving on. Second one, no surprise, is interesting. We go on the road to Michigan, the national champions from last year. Andrew and Bowen, you're both picking a win. Let's talk just for a moment about, your level of positivity or, good expectations going into that one. What leads you to believe that we're going to beat them on the road?
I think so. Michigan, they're replacing a lot of basically their whole offense. They're replacing. Um, JJ McCarthy wasn't my favorite quarterback in college football, but you can't deny that he was a leader. He led well, and I think he only had one or two losses in his college career. So um, he, from that standpoint, was a great college quarterback. Michigan from there, like intel on fall camp, not a lot of positivity with their quarterback situation. Now they're going to have a great defense again. That's going to be the big matchup, our
Mm-hmm.
offense versus their defense. But in my opinion, I think Michigan, in order for them to win, it's going to have to be like a 17-13 game. And I just don't think I would be surprised if we don't score at least like 20, 24 points against them, just based on the amount of talent that we have on our offense.
Bowen, quickly, what are you
Yeah,
feeling?
I mean, I think all the turnover, Andy went much deeper than I'd be able to. I think the turnover for sure. I think from my perspective, one of my good buddies at work is a Michigan alum, and he's just been bemoaning and really not looking forward to the season with everything going on. Pretty much exactly what Andy mentioned. So
Hmm.
I feel good about that. The part that I don't feel good about is Andy and I are both going to be there, which is awesome. But my away game attendance record is abysmal. It is so, so, so bad. I can't actually remember the last away game that we went to that I actually saw us win. But here we're gonna reverse that trend starting this year in the SEC. So, yeah, we're super stoked about that trip and to go up to Ann Arbor to see the Horns play.
I was with you guys until I started fluing back into the team about a week ago and hearing other informed analysts and journalists talk about the impact of the running back issues that we're going to have.
Mm.
And like the two running backs that remain on our roster and kind of like their style and how that influences things like fourth and goal or um, red zone play. I'm nervous about that. And I'm nervous about recognizing how much we lost in wide receivers and tight ends and needing to replace that, which we will, but also needing that to be clicking on all cylinders in a loud environment early on in the season. I think it might be asking a little much for us, which is going to be a gut punch because we will outrank Michigan and might even be favored on the road, but it's going to be a good one to watch. So we got some disagreement there. The next three games are also easy for us. The next three are at home. We play UTSA, ULM, and Mississippi State. All of us agree on all of those. Please, God, let's just win them. But we're all picking wins there. Um, then we get to a middle point in the season, which a lot of people have recognized and talked about already. We play OU and Georgia back to back. And fortunately and unfortunately, we three agree on how these two games are going to go. We're all picking a win in Dallas, which would be exciting. That's fun for us because it's an opportunity to get together with a lot of friends that go up to Dallas and live up there. So it's a big, pseudo social event for us. But you know, hopefully we get the win there. I don't know what we could add to that, but why, Andrew, should we be confident about that game against OU this year?
Honestly, OU for all the conference games, I shouldn't say this, but I'm feeling really confident about that game. Sark is really good in revenge games. Y'all saw it last year. We beat all the Big 12 teams on our way out minus OU, but we play them again this year. Um, I just OU offensively, they're not going to be the same. Their offensive line is really suspect, which that does not bode well. Their defense will be good, not nearly as good as Michigan, in my opinion. I just think Sark with a chip on his shoulder is going to perform well. So I'm expecting a win in Dallas this year, which is a dangerous thing to say.
Yeah. But we've seen a lot of them in person, so I think, we're cautious with our expectations about that one. Bowen, I'll have you talk about Georgia because each of us agree
Yeah.
on the outcome there, which is where it's good and bad. We agree that we're going to lose that game in Austin. I think from a fan experience, us each having season tickets, that's going to be pretty much the game of the season. Maybe for me because you guys are going to Michigan. But why are you feeling a loss there, Bowen?
I think it's just like you said. I mean, we're starting October with back-to-back really, really emotional games. I think if we come off a big win against OU, I think the message boards are going to be crazy, singing our praises. The 247 subscriptions are going to be through the roof. Everyone's going to be really, really high on that Kool-Aid, and then Georgia's going to come into town. There's going to be a lot of distractions that weekend too. Not for the team, but just around Austin with F1 coming in as well, and just a ton of stuff going on. And coming off of a really emotional, hopefully win against OU, I think Georgia's gonna come in and really try to show us up. So I'm not really feeling super optimistic about that. I hope that we do pull it out, but I think this will be unfortunately a loss for us at home.
I, Obviously, I agree with you there. I mean, that's Daddy coming to town. That's
Yeah, there's a new
Kirby's.
daddy now.
That's
New
Kirby
daddy.
Smart coming in. Yeah,
No more
yeah,
Saban. It's Kirby now.
yeah.
It's true. It's true.
But okay, if we beat Michigan, OU, and Georgia, we're the number one team in the country, ranked after that game.
Yeah,
We haven't played
hands
CFP
down.
yet, but it's cool that we got opportunities on our schedule to get there,
Mhm.
and be in that position without people thinking it's a fluke. So if we get the job done, good on you guys. All right, the next two are easy as well. We play on the road at Vanderbilt and back at home against Florida. We're all picking wins in each of those. Um, Second or third to last, I forget what it's called. Season of the game is on the road against Arkansas. Andy and Bowen, you guys are picking wins there. This was the point in my slate where I was picking, and I was like, like we don't really have good running backs. Depth at running back, I should say that. We're in the SEC. People are gonna say people have been saying we're gonna get beat up. Like, there's no way we go 10-2, right? So I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of looking for one to find where we're gonna drop the ball. And having watched us lose at Arkansas in the last couple of years, this is kind of the one I chose. But I also haven't seen a lot of great talk about Arkansas in the preseason, so you guys may not know either. But why are you supremely confident about that one?
I don't know if I would say I'm supremely confident in that game, but I don't know what shape Arkansas will be at that point of the year. That's kind of my thing. So if it was a night game, I think I'd be a lot more nervous. It's going to be at 11 o'clock, so that bodes well for Texas.
Yeah, that's good. Next up is Kentucky at home. We agree that we'll win that one. And then last, maybe the high water mark of the season is the renewed rivalry against Texas A&M. We're playing in College Station. Bowen and I are picking wins there, and Andrew, you're picking a loss. So take the other side of the coin, Andrew. Why are you not feeling good about A&M?
It's a tough place to play. I went to the last four away games at A&M, the Texas A&M game at Kyle Field, before the rivalry stopped for a brief period of time. I think Elko is going to do a great job this year. I'm optimistic about A&M, and their schedule's pretty easy in my opinion. Besides the first game and last game of the year, but yeah, it's a really tough environment. I think anything that's new for a coach when you're going on a road is really hard. And I don't know if we will be mentally ready for that game. And it's going to be A&M Super Bowl. So,
Yes, it will. I felt like it was a coin flip. I went with my heart there. I think if we stay injury free, we will take that one and quiet him down in the first quarter, hopefully. So, to summarize the regular season, Andrew, you picked 10-2. Bowen, you picked 11-1. There you go. And I picked 9-3. We had a couple other questions here about postseason. So we said, who will we play in the SEC championship? Andrew and I said no. Bowen, you said yes. Bowen, you're feeling 11-1.
Yeah, I did not expect to be the most optimistic one coming into this season, but I think y'all have been grinding a lot more tape and interviews and research than me. So I think maybe ignorance is bliss. So we'll call it that. Yeah, I mean I feel good. I think we'll do well. I think the injury kind of dampened a little bit, all the injury news coming out of camp, but I'm optimistic. I'm liking the direction we're headed. So, yeah, I feel good about playing in the SEC championship.
That'd
Yeah.
be that'd be obviously great. We all agree though that we will be in the college football playoff, which it's expanded this year, but that's still a huge achievement. Um, there will be a lot of time this fall to speculate about how far we go if we do make it there. So I'll skip that for now. But the next thing that we looked at was our prediction for who wins the national championship. I picked Oregon. I felt like that tournament environment and the competitiveness of Dan Lanning kind of suited him as a person, and their team's loaded. It's kind of a shot in the dark, but early on, I feel like they're the favorite. Georgia's got a little bit of a tough schedule. Bone, you took Georgia.
I think it's Georgia's year. I feel like Saban's gone. It's Kirby's time to just sit in the spotlight all on his own. So yeah, I
Daddy's
feel
time.
yeah, daddy's time. We probably got to get on the Kirby train to feed the kids, you know. Saban's no more, so yeah, I think they're due for a pretty big season.
Yeah.
There you
And
go.
Andy, Ohio State, just what do you got there?
I just think they have a lot of talent. I can definitely see Georgia or Oregon winning. Yeah, I just think Ohio State has a lot of talent. Will Howard, I think, is a good quarterback, not great, but I don't think he needs to be great for Ohio State to be great. So that's my thought on that. But oh well, just with the SEC championship though, who do y'all think is going to make it? I said Georgia and LSU. LSU I think has a relatively easy schedule and might surprise some people. But what about y'all? What do y'all think, or who do y'all think will make it?
They're not still doing the East-West thing, right? It's just best two
No,
teams.
it's like the Big 12 how it was for us, like the top two records.
I'm gonna say Georgia, Ole Miss. I like Lane Kiffin. That they had a good season last season. Another guess, I feel like they'll continue and have a good season, maybe surprise people. So I'm gonna say Georgia, Ole Miss.
I think for me, the logic of my predictions, I have to have a Texas Georgia SEC championship game. Otherwise the math just doesn't work. So I could see
Yeah.
that happening.
Yeah.
Good. Stay consistent. Don't
Yeah.
contradict yourself.
Or I could hedge. I could
Yeah.
hedge.